You know what sound that is, folks? You betcha. That's another noon whistle. I'm Chris Trottier.
And I'm John Anzalone, and I'm here with Dan and Vince Wedige at Wedige Auto.
Welcome, guys.
Well, thank you for having us.
This is Dan. This is
we got
Vince.
two alumni, right, John?
We do. If I'm correct, I think we got a 1987 with Dan, and we got a 2014 with Vince.
All right. Well, if you keep moving that screen, I'm going to think I'm on the Titanic here.
Yeah, well, bear with me a second. As soon as you hit the countdown, this thing started
dancing a little bit.
Yeah, it started dancing a little bit. So I don't know what we got, but
you're good now.
There we go. So Wedige Automotive, located on South Wisconsin. What is the actual address here?
224 South Wisconsin here in Elkhorn.
We got it right at the bottom, running as a banner.
Yeah. So, hey, interesting thing, as we were talking here before, this business actually started with Dan's would-be grandfather. And I'm going to let him tell the story because the start is really interesting how they ended up here in Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Yeah, it started out, my grandfather had a one-man radiator shop in Beloit. And my father started working for him out of the service when he got back from the Navy. And as my dad started having kids, he had two kids, my two older brothers. And the money wasn't there to support a bigger family, so my dad went on his own. He picked Elkhorn as a new radiator shop. My grandpa kept his shop, and my dad opened up his here in Elkhorn. We've been here since 1964. So it's been we're Titanic-ing a little bit.
What you got going on over there?
I don't know why we're doing that. Yeah. What are our little machines doing that? But that's okay. We'll figure this out here. It's there's a lot of work being done here, so things are getting a little rough.
Oh, there you go. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if there was an earthquake or something happening.
No, we're good. It's technology, but we'll figure it out.
So 4 generations.
One shop, right?
There was one shop in Beloit and then this one here. So technically 4 generations when you count my grandfather and my son, Vince. My dad opened up in 64, and when my brother Steve, who was fortunate enough to retire last October, or 2 years ago, not this past, but the one prior, so about a little over a year, he's been retired now. He started working for my father out of high school. He was an 80 graduate of Elkhorn Area High School. And so Steve and my dad ran the business. I came in when I could start pushing a broom. Steve and I are a little bit different in age. He's got 7 years on me, so I still got a few years here to work yet. But as I was able to come in and start cleaning the shop, pushing the broom, learning the dirty part of the business, for lack of better words, start learning it. I was fortunate enough to go to college, went to St. Norbert College. When I graduated, I chose to come back and work in the family business. And as it progressed, my brother and I ended up buying my dad out so he could retire. And once the building that we bought for my father and the business got paid for, then we decided to build the location we're at now. We've been here, I'd say 21 years. We've been here about 21 at our new facility. We have both buildings now. And everything just kind of progressed. So
does the other building still do radiators?
Yep. The other shop primarily is our radiator shop, and we do diesel particulate filters, which is for all the semis now. You don't see black smoke coming out of their tailpipes. And because of that is because of the filters that we're cleaning right now. So we have trucks on the road. Right now we have about 16 or 17 full and part-time employees here. So we have a good staff of drivers that put on anywhere from 300 to 800 miles a day picking up product for us to repair and clean for industrial people. And then we have the automotive service here that most people probably know us for.
So that's a good segue into what type of services do you offer at Wedige Auto?
We do quite a bit, actually. The automotive side's probably, I'd say, 40 to 45% of our business. So we do full service auto repair, anything from an oil change to tires to brakes to engines to transmissions. Hopefully everything that could go wrong with your car, we're able to take care of it for you. So we hope we can service everybody well that way. And then we have the industrial services, which is our cooling system with the radiators, and then the exhaust part with the DPFs for the diesel trucks that are on the road right now.
So Chris, I can tell you as a customer, as well as someone doing the noon whistle today, like one thing you get from Wedige is that you get honesty. You get honesty. Here's what the deal is. Here's what it's going to cost. Here's what we can do. And yeah, super trustworthy, super professional. And it's kind of that old school handshake, like we got you.
Yeah,
Our goal
great.
is we want to try to let customers know a problem could be coming about or catch something before it happens, because it's easier to spend your money when you can budget for it. So we never like seeing you coming in with a huge problem that we got to throw a decent sized ticket at you. If we could see something that could cause you a problem a few months down the road, it's a heck of a lot easier to spend your money when you know what's coming. So that's one of our biggest we try to do.
Well, I was going to ask, just the auto industry, I guess over the last 15 years has changed significantly. With regards to the, EVs coming on the market and hybrids. How do you guys, stay current and on top of all those things? Like, that just seems like, just from an outsider's view, a pretty Herculean task. Talk a little bit about
Vince's job. He's a young guy.
It's Vince's job. Yeah. So what does that look like? Tell us a little bit about the industry and it's changing and trying to keep up.
Yeah, electronic portion of the vehicles are getting very in depth. You learn something new every day. A lot of our parts suppliers offer training on site or computerized that we take advantage of as much as we can. So there's always adding schooling and stuff like that. It's a lot of stuff you learn every day though, just going in the job and reading through different manuals and getting updates from the different manufacturers that you see, and there's just a lot of opportunity to learn more. But yeah, the electronics are every day. There's something new, and it's kind of crazy, unreal what they're coming up with nowadays.
Yeah, for schooling wise, we need the smart kids.
Yeah.
For the technicians. They used to try to.
It's not turning wrenches anymore.
Yeah, it's in the old days. If someone didn't have the aptitude for something, they'd push you into the industrial arts and turn wrenches or whatever. Nowadays, I need guys that can read and do the math and read schematics and follow diagrams, and they have to be able to do the research and read through manuals and stuff to be able to figure out the problems. They don't. The cars you're working on computers every day. I mean, the cars are so technically advanced now. We had a car that wouldn't start because of a speaker was bad in a car. It was part of what they call a bus system, and because that wiring was broke somewhere between the speaker and the radio, it interrupted the bus system and it would not allow the car to start. You unplugged the speaker and the car would start. So those are the type of problems that we're running into.
We had an AC switch do the same thing. Air conditioning causing a no start.
Yeah, so they run everything together, and you need smart guys, which we are looking for people. So if there's anybody that think a good tech that's looking to change, we're a good place to work. So we're looking for a new guy. We got one of our techs been with us for 23 years. And he's going to be retiring in April. So we're out there looking for a new guy to replace one of our current guys that has done a really good job for us for a long time.
You were telling me most of your employees are that way. Once they come, they stay.
I'm fortunate. I feel we do a good enough job to appreciate the employees we have.
Great group of guys.
Yeah, they stay with us. So we're real fortunate. Turnover is not a problem here. And I think that's what helps us give the service we do, because everybody knows the cars and they come in, they've seen it before because they've been here for a long time. Right. So it helps.
Well, that's probably no accident. That's probably, because of the way you guys handle business and because of the way you feel and how you treat people and how you treat your employees. I'm sure that's no accident. Yeah.
It's about the customer here. It really is. And I don't want anybody to leave here thinking they have buyer's remorse, for lack of a better word. I want them to understand the problem that they have, why they're doing it, why they're spending the money. And if they don't understand it, I want them to ask the questions, because cars are a pain in the butt nowadays. So if you don't understand something, you need to ask the question. And if we're not explaining it well enough, I need you to ask more questions. I want you to be happy when you leave here. That's the biggest thing.
You really feel like because they've been here, they live here, that they really do care, and they really do care that they give good service because, this is where they grew up.
Yeah, Elkhorn's been great to us. We've been here 61 years this coming April, and Elkhorn and Walworth County has been great. We got customers all around the county that come to us. Elkhorn's been good to us. The school district's been good through my family, my kids. They all grew up here, and I guess it's our way of giving back. Elkhorn's been good to us, so it's our turn to give back.
And you do give back. You guys are very civic minded and always have been. Even your dad was.
Yep.
And great partner in the community, Chris.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Vince, when you graduated high school, did you go on and get any training or just jump right into the family business?
Yeah, I worked here a little bit in high school as much as I could around school and sports and whatnot. And then I went to Waukesha Tech and went there. I did the GM ASEP program. And I actually, one of our techs I met there, and that's how we hired him on here. But it's a great program. Learned a lot. You know, a lot of opportunity out there with that.
Yeah, I was just thinking that all the big changes that happened at the high school were just a little bit after you before you.
Yeah, I know. I haven't been there lately. I want to come see it, but I've heard from Thorson. It's been pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, I just met with them. I just met with them at 3:15. So
yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys know. When Chris was growing up, you were a brake guy, weren't you?
I worked at Wilmot Auto Service in downtown Wilmot. Similar type of story that Dana, you just shared. Family business started in '49. Like I think they're on now 3 or 4 generations, and never left Wilmot. And yeah, so kind of grew up there. Walked in as a sophomore, just after my sophomore year. Didn't know how to drive stick, and the guy says jump in a tow truck, and I'm like, what? And all of a sudden it's a 3-speed, and had to figure it out after chugging down Highway C. And next thing you know, 10 years later, I'm working on cars. So it was one of the best experiences ever.
Well, that's good, Chris. If we can't find someone in April, we can just bring you in.
Hey, listen, yeah. John and I come as a package since we're both close to retirement, so you can get both of us. But I don't know if John.
Chris is pretty humble. He didn't tell you that he was a certified blinker specialist, blinker fluid.
Excellent.
So I don't know.
Really good. Yeah. I always filled it up and gave him, charged him $10 for it. So it was a good thing. It was, but I'll tell you that knowledge kind of went away. That's why I asked that question, because I drive a 2017 GMC XL Yukon, and the left blinker went out. And I thought I was just going to grab a $2.95 light bulb until I looked, and I had to order the entire housing for about $400 or $500 because it was all.
Oh my God! These newer ones go into that bus system we're talking about. They're all programmed to modules. Like on some of the newer Fords, if you have, like, you back into something, you take out your taillight's like a $1,200 assembly, and then you got to program it to the car. Otherwise, you can't just plug it in and it works. It has to be learned to the car so that taillight works again. This is the technology that's going, and they can't keep it simple anymore. They're making, I guess they don't want the normal person to be able to work on their cars anymore, which is unfortunate.
How has the tool world changed with that? I mean, I'm guessing a lot of this, you can't have a regular wrench for some things, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of it's still basic tools, but there's a lot of specialty tools out there. It's every other job, you're buying a new specialty tool. We had to buy last week for, a valve spring job that a regular valve spring tool wouldn't handle,
It's a lot of electronics. We have a lot of different scan tools.
The electronic part is a big part of the specialty.
With us, I don't try to, a lot of guys have to buy their own stuff. If there's a lot of specialty tools as a business, Wedige Automotive will try to buy them in-house so our techs don't have to use their hard income or hard-earned income to pay for equipment. So if they have their basic tools, we take care of them on the technical stuff so they can keep the money in their pocket, because it just gets expensive. It's just like all the scan tools. Every scan tool is a monthly fee to maintain them. You just don't buy it and you're done with it. It's an ongoing cost.
I suppose they all have software, right?
It is. Everything is just update. Because if you don't change, all of a sudden your scan tool is not working.
Yeah.
Well, since we have so many alumni here, I do have to ask, what's Emma doing?
Emma's doing well. Emma's my daughter. She's in Atlanta. She graduated from St. Louis University, and she's an electrical engineer in Atlanta working for a Haskell company, and they got her flying all over the place to different locations. She does a lot of beverage lines. So she programs the circuit boards, and then she goes on site and makes sure they're up and running. So
over the world. Basically.
Yeah, she's been to Amsterdam, overseas. They got all over the states, so she's got a lot of stamps on her passport right now. So it's her 5-year reunion this month. So she's been there 5 years now, but she's doing really well and enjoying her job. But she gets to see a lot of countryside, so she's all over the place.
What year she graduated? I'm trying to remember. 16, 17?
16.
16. Okay.
Yep. 2 years behind them.
Yeah, my first guess was right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, good, John. How do you want to close here? I mean, this has been a great little tour of talk about automotive industry, Wedige, the commitment to the community, all the alumni in the family. Well, how do you want to close here?
I don't know. Maybe it's a good time to close with a couple winter car tips from the Weidiges.
Oh, I like
right?
that.
It's getting cold. We're going below zero. Maybe they got a couple tips for us that we could share with our listeners about taking care of your car and when it gets real cold.
All right, let's hear them. Top three.
Thoughts? I kind of put them on the spot here.
I like it.
Good antifreeze. You don't want that to freeze. You're a good battery, so it starts for you. Good tires, traction when you get snow. If we get snow,
Yeah.
Haven't had much snow.
Battery's probably the biggest. Average life of a battery is about 5 years. So about every 4 years, if you can afford to, would be the time to replace it so you don't have a problem. Because when that battery goes, it just goes and then you're stuck. So 4 to 5 years, if it hasn't been replaced, that'd be the biggest thing I would recommend this time of year. Cooling systems right now is a lot better than they have been in the past. That antifreeze,
Yeah,
cooling
antifreeze holds up quite
yeah, I mean, you're getting
a
100,000 miles out of it before you got to worry about it. But the maintenance, make sure you got good shoes on your car so the tires are good traction. No, good battery, and you'd be good. You should.
What about fuel? Do you still got to keep it above a quarter, like my dad used to yell at me?
It's always good, but it's probably more important in the summertime.
Huh.
And that's because the fuel pump is cooled by the gasoline.
There you go. Yeah.
So
Yeah, all the fuels and the diesel fuel and all that have additives most of the time right out of the pump. So the diesels don't gel up like they used to.
Okay.
You know, if it's real cold, you want to put something in it, but most of the fuels nowadays in the wintertime have additives.
yeah,
I
all
did
those
not know that.
yeah, all those additives that people buy in the wintertime, it's really not needed. They're doing a good job in the fuels.
Yeah.
If you do use 1, 2 is not better.
Yeah.
So if you do
Don't
put
overdo
it, if
it,
you do put an additive in your fuel tank, just put 1 in and put a couple tanks of gas through before you decide to put another one in, because
Got it.
more than 1 at a time is not a good thing.
So they don't have diesel blends, like do they still have summer and winter kind of blends?
Well, they
or-
do. They changed the fuel
They
blends.
did. Okay.
That's why your fuel mileage goes down a little bit too.
Got it. Okay.
There you go. You got
Pretty
it here.
informative. All right. Well, we appreciate you. Congratulations on all your hard work. Thank you for being in the community. John, on that note, what do you think? We
Yeah,
got.
thank you
You know, we
guys
should-
very much.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.
We should keep this theme going. We should get Emma on now.
There you go. We should.
That'd be entertaining.
She's probably a little more computer savvy. She'd probably figure this out without having to have me have John come in here.
Well, then
We're
she'd
good.
probably
This was
then
good.
she'd probably want Abby Boucher and Lindsay G and the rest of them on. So
There you go.
that'd be okay too, because they're all really great young ladies now and professionals. So, well, thanks
Yeah.
for being on here. Thanks for being a part of the community. John, I think on that note, we good?
We're good.
All right,
Chris.
everybody have a great day. Let's head back to work.
Thanks for having us.